When life hurts, it doesn't whisper. It screams. It tears through your chest, rips the breath from your lungs, and dares you to rise while everything inside you is collapsing. And I know, right now, someone watching this is on the edge. You're not just tired, you're exhausted. You're not just confused, you're drowning. And no one sees the war going on behind your eyes. But listen to me. This is not where your story ends. This is where your power begins. Because pain is the birthplace of warriors. And if you're hurting right now, you are being forged. When life hurts, the first instinct is to believe something is wrong. We panic. We want to numb the ache, quiet the noise, escape the heaviness that seems to press down on our chest. But what if I told you that pain isn't a curse? It's a sign you're still in the fight. That very discomfort you feel, that ache deep in your soul, is proof that you haven't quit. It's the heartbeat of resistance. It's the sound of your spirit refusing to stay silent. You are still moving, still breathing, still trying. And in a world that tries to shut people down, that effort alone is heroic. You have to understand, numbness is what happens when people give up. They stop feeling because they've stopped trying. They shut down because it's easier than staying open. But you're still hurting. And that means you're still alive to your truth. You're still demanding more from life, even if life has handed you nothing but disappointment lately. Pain is not a weakness. It's not a burden. It's a signal. And if you're wise enough to listen, you'll hear what it's trying to tell you. There's still fight left in you. Think about the last time you cried yourself to sleep and still got up the next morning. Think about the days you could have folded, could have disappeared, but instead, you showed up. You held it together when you were breaking apart inside. That is not small. That is not ordinary. That is not weak. That is strength most people will never understand. Because it's easy to act tough when everything's going right. But real power, that's what shows up when everything's going wrong and you keep going anyway. Pain strips away the noise. It gets rid of the fake, the superficial, the distractions. It forces you to face the truth, raw and unfiltered. And sometimes that truth hurts. Sometimes it screams. But within that scream is a call, a demand for more, for better, for something deeper. When life hurts, it's inviting you to dig beneath the surface. To stop pretending. To stop living on autopilot. Pain is how the soul demands your attention. Not to destroy you, but to awaken you. There's a strange clarity that comes with pain. You start seeing what really matters. You stop chasing validation. You stop tolerating the things that drain you. You stop living for people who wouldn't bleed for you. Because when you're hurting, you don't have energy to waste on what's fake. You learn to protect your space. You learn to honor your limits. You learn to value your energy. Pain becomes the fire that burns away your people, pleasing, your insecurities, your fears. And when the flames die down, what's left is someone real, someone fierce, someone unstoppable. So don't let anyone tell you to silence your pain. Don't hide it. Don't apologize for it. Let it speak. Let it roar. Let it remind you that you're still here, still breathing, still fighting. Because the ones who feel deeply, who struggle openly, who hurt honestly, those are the ones with the most powerful hearts. And if you're feeling broken right now, if you're hurting in a way you can't even explain, just know that pain is proof that you're still alive in a world trying to numb you. And that makes you unstoppable. Rock bottom isn't the end. It just feels like it. It feels like everything you built has collapsed, like every door has slammed shut, And like your own reflection doesn't even recognize you anymore. You wonder how you got here, how everything fell apart so quickly, or so quietly. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. Rock bottom is not your burial ground. It's your rebirth. It's the point where the illusions fall away, where the noise dies down, and where you meet the rawest, realest version of yourself. You've been stripped of comfort, yes, but also of pretense. And what's left is a foundation so solid, so honest, that you can build something real on it for the first time in your life. The world tells us to avoid pain, to fear failure, to never fall too far. But the irony, it's in the fall where we learn who we really are. When you're at rock bottom, you're not surrounded by fans' applause or approval. You're surrounded by silence, by stillness. And in that stillness, the real work begins. You begin to confront the stories you've told yourself about your worth, your potential, your identity. You begin to see how much of your life was built on other people's expectations. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's the gift of the bottom. It shows you the lies you've been living with, and it gives you permission to rewrite them. At the top, everyone wants a piece of you. But at the bottom, only you remain. And that's solitude. It's brutal, but it's necessary. You learn to be your own witness, your own guide, your own motivator. No more relying on someone to pull you up. No more waiting for external permission to begin again. At rock bottom, you realize something critical. You are all you've got. And instead of that breaking you, it begins to liberate you. Because when you finally stop looking outward for strength, you start discovering the unstoppable power that was always inside you. Most people are terrified of hitting that low. They avoid risk, avoid pain, avoid any situation that might challenge their fragile comfort zone. But not you. You've faced the abyss. You've been humiliated, rejected, forgotten. And here's the powerful part. You're still here, still breathing, still trying. Rock bottom didn't destroy you. It revealed you. It exposed the lies. It exposed the people who weren't real. It exposed the habits that were keeping you small. And now that you've seen the truth, you can't go back to who you were. That version of you died in the fall. What's emerging now is someone the world hasn't met yet. Someone forged in fire, not fantasy. People will look at you one day and ask how you became so grounded, so powerful, so certain. They'll think it came from confidence. But it didn't. It came from being shattered. It came from screaming into pillows at midnight. It came from losing what you thought you couldn't live without and realizing you still could. That's what rock bottom teaches you. That life will strip away every illusion you cling to until only the truth remains. And that truth is this: your worth was never in your job, your relationship, your status, or your past. It was always in you. In your resilience, your refusal to quit, your ability to rise when nothing made sense. You don't need to fear starting over. You need to fear never starting at all, because you were too afraid to fall. And once you've tasted the bottom, once you've lived in that darkness and felt it try to swallow you, you stop being afraid of what people think. You stop chasing perfection. You stop explaining your wounds. You know what matters now. You've seen how far you can fall, and you've realized, if I can survive that, I can survive anything. Rock bottom didn't defeat you. It defined you. It gave you the clearest view of what you're capable of. And from that place, you don't just rise. You rise with intention, with clarity, and with power no one can take away. Stop waiting for someone to save you. That harsh truth cuts deep. Because we've all been there, waiting for someone to call, for someone to care, for someone to notice how much we're breaking inside. But let me say it clearly, no one is coming. Not because people are cruel, but because they're not equipped to fix what's inside you. This healing, this comeback, it's your job. You've spent too much time hoping someone would pull you from the darkness. But the truth is, you were born with everything you need to climb out yourself. Thus, every time you hand your power to someone else, you become a prisoner of their choices. And that ends now. It's not selfish to save yourself first. It's survival. It's reclaiming your dignity. You've been conditioned to believe that being strong means being quiet, being patient, being available. But strength, real strength, is taking responsibility for your life, no matter who hurt you, no matter who failed you. It's standing in the rubble of what once was and saying, I'm not waiting for a miracle. I'll build one. That shift is radical. It's terrifying, but it's also the moment you begin to own your story, not as a victim, not as a survivor, but as a force. The day you stop begging for rescue is the day you start becoming someone no one saw coming. Think about how many times you've ignored your own voice, hoping someone else would validate your choices. How many times you've silenced your needs just to keep the peace. But where did that get you? Exhausted, disconnected, numb. The truth is, you already know what you need to do. Thus, you already know the relationship that's draining you, the habit that's killing you, the path you're scared to take. Stop pretending you don't. The longer you wait for someone else to make the decision, the longer you delay your freedom. No one can choose for you. No one should. This is your life. Own every messy, beautiful inch of it. When you stop waiting to be chosen, you start choosing yourself. And when you do that, everything changes. You stop asking for permission. You stop explaining your worth. You stop shrinking to fit into spaces that were never built for someone like you. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, think differently, and people will notice. Some will be uncomfortable, some will walk away. Let them. Their absence only makes more room for your authenticity. You don't need everyone. You just need to be at peace with you. That's the ultimate power, when your approval comes from within. Choosing yourself doesn't mean you won't fall. It means when you do, you'll know how to get up. You'll stop looking over your shoulder for someone to pick you up and start relying on the person in the mirror. The person who's been through hell and still showed up. You begin to develop a relationship with yourself that's unshakable. And that's what will carry you when life gets violent again. Not someone else's love, not external validation. Self-trust. When you trust yourself, no storm can destroy you. Because even if you're thrown to your knees, you'll rise with your own two hands. This is not about isolation. This is about liberation. You don't need to walk this journey alone, but you do need to lead it. Stop waiting for the universe to send signs when the fire in your chest is already burning with truth. You know what's broken. You know what needs to change. The question is, will you finally stop waiting? Will you stop shrinking? Will you stop handing your power to people who never deserved it? Because the moment you say, I'll save myself, the universe moves. Doors open. Paths clear. But it all starts with one decision. I am no longer waiting. I am rising. You've been taught to hide your scars, to cover the pain, to bury the evidence of what you've been through so you can blend in, look put together, and avoid making people uncomfortable. But what they don't tell you is that your scars are not shameful, they are sacred. Every scar on your body, every crack in your spirit is a symbol of something you survived. It's proof that life tried to break you and failed. You weren't destroyed. You endured. You evolved. That alone makes you powerful in a way most people will never understand. Your scars aren't your weakness. They're your credentials. They say, I've been through the storm and I'm still standing. Think about what it really means to carry pain and keep walking. To be wounded, but still show up. Still love. Still try. That kind of resilience is rare. That kind of emotional endurance can't be taught. It has to be earned. In the dark, in the silence, in the moments where no one is clapping for you. You've been through things that would have broken other people. But here you are. You didn't collapse under pressure. You didn't give up when it hurt. You found a way forward when there was no roadmap and no one checking in. That's not weakness. That's warrior work. And it's time you stop hiding the very things that make you unstoppable. Society glorifies perfection. Flawless skin, perfect lives, polished stories. But perfection is a lie. It's an illusion that keeps people pretending instead of healing. Meanwhile, the real strength lives in the as imperfect. In the woman who admits she's still figuring it out. In the man who shares the truth about his anxiety. In the human who shows their scars and says, I've been through hell and I came back wiser. Vulnerability is not a lack of strength. It is the highest form of it. When you show your wounds, when you speak the truth of what nearly destroyed you, you give others permission to do the same. You become a lighthouse for people who are still lost at sea. There's nothing more powerful than someone who has owned their pain. Not escaped it. Not avoided it. Owned it. When you stop running from your story and start owning every messy chapter, you take control of the narrative. You shift from being the victim to being the author. Your story no longer owns you. You own it. And when you speak from that place, people listen differently. They don't just hear your words. They feel your truth. Because it's not just surface level strength. It's bone deep power. Power that was born in fire, forged in chaos, and carried through the kind of nights that steal sleep from your soul. So many people try to hide their pasts like their dirty secrets. But your past is not something to hide. It's something to have leverage. You went through what you went through so someone else wouldn't have to. So someone else could hear your voice and find courage. You don't inspire people by being perfect. You inspire them by being real. By showing that pain didn't end you. It expanded you. That you didn't just survive. You learned. You rose. You've transformed. That's the version of you the world is waiting for. Not the one who hides behind a mask. The one who walks in truth, scars and all, unapologetically. Start showing up as the whole version of yourself. Not just the polished parts. The whole, unfiltered, powerful version that has been through it and still has love to give. Still has purpose. Still has dreams. Because the truth is, the world doesn't need more people faking strength. It needs more people who can look others in the eye and say, me too. I've been there. I made it out. And so can you. Your scars are not your burden. They are your bridge. They connect you to the broken, the lost, the weary, and remind them they are not alone. Wear them like armor. Speak from them like truth. Because your story is your strength, and your scars, they are your superpower. When you're in the middle of a storm, it feels endless. Time slows. Every minute is heavy. The pain feels permanent, like it's carved into your chest. like the world has stopped spinning just to watch you suffer. And people will say, "It gets better." But when you're drowning, those words feel hollow. You don't want promises. You want relief. You want answers. But here's the truth you have to hold on to. Even if you don't feel it right now, every storm ends. The skies don't stay dark forever. The thunder quiets. The ground settles. But what truly matters isn't the storm itself. It's less who you become while it's raging. That's what life is really asking of you. Not just to survive, but to transform. Storms strip everything away. They take what's false, what's weak, what's temporary, and rip it out of your hands. That sounds cruel, but it's not. It's cleansing. It's clarifying. Because what remains after the storm is the vast truth. The truth of who you are. The truth of what you value. The truth of what you're capable of. Pain forces you to confront the things you've been avoiding. It puts a spotlight on the parts of yourself you've ignored, neglected, or silenced. And once those truths rise to the surface, there's no more hiding. You are forced to evolve or stay broken. And even in your most broken moments, the choice to evolve is still yours. There's something sacred about being in the storm. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's isolating. But it's also the birthplace of power. When everything is stripped away, you begin to find the kind of strength that doesn't come from applause or approval. It comes from you. From facing the mirror and choosing to stand tall, even when your legs are shaking. From rebuilding yourself with your own hands, with your own vision. Storms take away the unnecessary, the surface level, and they leave you with what's real. And once you've lived through that kind of intensity, your standards shift. You stop settling. You stop compromising your worth. Because now you know exactly what you're made of. Some people go through storms and come out bitter, hardened, closed. But that's not the only outcome. You have a different choice. You can come out wiser, stronger, more self-aware, more compassionate. The storm can either break you, or it can build you. And the building isn't loud. It's not glamorous. It's quiet. It's done in silence, behind closed doors, in the moments when no one's watching. But make no mistake, every storm is shaping you, sharpening you, sculpting a version of yourself that could never exist without the pain. It's through adversity that you develop resilience, through loss that you understand value, through chaos that you discover calm. And here's the thing, people won't always see the storm you walked through. They'll see the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you hold boundaries and walk in purpose. And they'll wonder how you got so strong. They won't know about the nights you cried alone, the days you questioned your worth, the moments you almost gave up. But you'll know, and that knowledge, that lived experience, is what will separate you from the rest. It will ground you. It will guide you, and it will make your voice powerful. Because when you speak, it won't come from theory. It will come from our truth, and that truth will move people. So don't resent the storm. Don't wish it away. Don't numb yourself to get through it faster. Be present in it. Just let it teach you. Let it purify you. Let it burn away everything that isn't aligned with who you're meant to become. Because the storm will end. It always does. But the version of you who emerges from it, that version will carry wisdom, will carry depth, will carry a peace no one can shake. The storm doesn't define you, it refines you. And while it may take everything from you, it will also reveal the one thing you never knew you had: unshakable strength. Pain is not just something to endure, it's something to abuse. Most people try to run from it, numb it, suppress it, act like it never happened. But the ones who rise in life, they don't run from their hurt. They run with it. They take their pain and convert it into power, into vision, into action. You think that wound in your chest makes you weaker. But what if it's the very fuel that's going to launch you into the next level of your life? You didn't go through that heartbreak, that betrayal, that breakdown for nothing. There is raw gold in your suffering, but only if you're bold enough to mine it. And that's what separates the empowered from the lost, the willingness to transform pain into purpose. Think about the people who've impacted you the most, the ones whose stories shook you, the ones whose presence carries weight. Were they untouched by life? No. They were broken at one point. They were doubted, rejected, abandoned. And instead of letting that be their ending, they let it become their beginning. They didn't just survive. They fused their survival. They used it to fuel their careers, to write their truths, to change the game. And if they can do it, so can you. That ache inside you, that anger, that grief, that regret, it's energy. And energy doesn't just disappear. It has to go somewhere. So the question is, where will you direct it? You can use your hurt as a hammer to break yourself down, or you can use it as a chisel to carve something magnificent. People underestimate how powerful pain can be when it's pointed in the right direction. Every time you channel that heartbreak into a workout, that betrayal into a boundary, that grief into a goal, you're taking control. You're refusing to let life decide who you are. Instead, you're saying, watch what I build with what tried to bury me. That's not just strength. That's alchemy. That's turning your lowest moments into the foundation for your highest ones. And the more you do it, the more unstoppable you become. But turning pain into fuel takes commitment. It's not just about being angry or motivated for a day. It's about discipline. It's about showing up again and again, even when the weight in your chest makes it hard to breathe. It's about finding something bigger than your pain to live for. Whether it's your future, your vision, your family, your purpose, you need something worth fighting for, something worth grinding for. Because without a target, pain just loops. It festers. But with a clear direction, it becomes a jet engine. It becomes the thing that pushes you when inspiration is gone and all you have left is grit. There will be people who don't understand your drive. They'll think you're too intense, too focused, too serious. Let them. Let them doubt. Let them gossip. Because while they're talking about pain, you're building with it. While they're waiting for closure, you're creating new beginnings. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the way you've chosen to rise. You've earned the right to be relentless. You've survived things they'll never understand. And if turning your pain into progress makes people uncomfortable, let them be uncomfortable. You're not here to be palatable. You're here to be powerful. So take your pain and do something with it. Start that business. Write that book. Speak that truth. Create that life. Don't just let pain live in your story. Make it a reason you got here. Make it part of the blueprint of your strength. Because the world doesn't need more people who've had it easy. It needs more people who were torn apart and used the pieces to build a masterpiece. You are not broken. You are becoming. And the fire inside you didn't come from comfort. It came from pain. Now use it. Let it push you. Let it sharpen you. Let it show the world who you really are. So now it's your turn. No more waiting. No more shrinking. No more carrying your pain like it's a burden you have to hide. Let it fuel you. Let it drive you. Let it become the reason you rise. Not someday, but right now. Don't just survive your story. Own it, speak it, and use it to change everything. Acts. Because the world is waiting for the version of you who's not afraid anymore. The version who doesn't apologize for her fire. The version who turned pain into purpose, scars into strength, and silence into a roar. This is your moment. Step into it. Speak louder. Stand taller. Fight harder. Pause 6, and if they ask what lit that fire in your eyes, you look them dead in the face and say, "S, my pain did. And I used every ounce of it to become unstoppable. Now go. Be the storm."